some blocks, some punches, some kicks, some easy things to get started with on your martial arts journey. Whether you're starting from the scratch, you're a brand new beginner, or you're starting over, you need to have a beginner's mind. Turn your thumbs back, make your circles back. I like to move as much as possible. Use our time wisely as you train martial arts at home. Now from here, bring your hands through the middle and back, turning your hands over, palm up as you come back. Warm up the shoulders, the hands, the wrists. You want to stay safe from injury during this martial arts class for beginners. Online martial arts training you can do from home, from anywhere that you are. Now I want you to start to turn your body, and as you turn your body, allow your heels to come up on the opposite sides. That means that left heel will be up when I go to the right. I go to my left, my right heel is going to be up. I'm just turning from side to side to increase the range of motion of my stretch. I want to get the blood to flow everywhere. I want to get healthy, lean, and strong. Training martial arts online for beginners or for beginner-minded martial artists. Maybe you are already a black belt. Maybe you've taken a break for a long time, but you want to get back into it. This is a good starting spot. Always train the beginnings. Now you're going to bring it up into the side. Hello, Matthew. It's good to see you. From side to side, lifting and turning. Big arm circles to the front. You want a nice proper warm-up to stay safe from injury during this workout. Bring them back. Martial arts training for beginners focuses on the basics, but only after a good proper warm-up. Bring the hands in so that the fingers up and the fingers to the side. Hello, David. It's good to see you. David's in the UK. Let them shake. Get the blood to flow into the joint. Switch it. Notice that your fingers are up and the fingers are to the side. That helps you isolate the wrists in this stretch. Just vigorously back and forth. Loosen up the wrists, palms up. When you start to punch, that's going to keep your hands safe from injury and all that punching motion. On this one, notice that I'm bringing it close to my ribs and to my chest as I bring it back. That's going to floss that nerve on the inside that runs into that shoulder all the way up into your neck. That's going to keep the inflammation out so that you don't injure yourself. Daria, it's good to see you. Daria asks, how old am I? Daria, I've been doing martial arts since I'm 9 years old, and I'm 50 now, so that's, 31 years, martial arts. I want you to start to run in place. As you're running, just small. Hello, Doug. It's good to see you. Starting to throw those punches out. Now, if you like martial arts training, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. That helps us grow this channel. Keep these workouts coming. And bring you as many as we can. I'm working on a whole new curriculum that's all focused on self-defense. Kind of a self-defense black belt with half the belts that you'd find in a traditional karate program. More along the lines of like a jiu-jitsu program. Not just jiu-jitsu moves. There's some of those moves in there too, but not all the belts because it doesn't have as much curriculum, keeping it simple. But right now we're doing a little bit more traditional martial arts. From here, I want you to turn and punch across the body. I have you do this to warm up the shoulders and hips even more. Stretch out the back muscles and train yourself to extend all the way on these punches. When you start to punch for self-defense, you always generate the most power when you extend all the way. That means get that elbow straight. You generate even more power when you extend and turn the shoulders and hips. So stretching this way gets the heart rate up, also allows you to practice good technique. Then from here, go back to the running and jogging. Or running and throwing the punches, you're just jogging in place. And jogging is relative, depending on where you are as a beginner. Maybe you're into senior martial arts. Maybe you're one of the senior Taekwondo. We've got a whole Facebook group on senior martial. It's really senior martial artists, all styles. But when we first started, the guy who started it called it senior Taekwondo. But there's Kung Fu, there's Tang Soo Do, Karate, right? Karate Do. Probably not that many jiu-jitsu guys. It's kind of a different breed. There's definitely a separation. After 30 seconds of running and punching, there's a separation between the striking traditional martial arts and especially the Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys. I remember I was at BJ Penn School. He's a famous MMA guy, amazing martial artist. Brazilian, one of the youngest guys to get a Brazilian black belt, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. And he had all these young guys, probably 140 from all over the world. His school's in Hawaii on the Big Island, Hilo. And I was with a group of older martial artists. It's called the Ultimate Black Belt Test. And it was a cool idea. It was a cool idea. And I didn't finish it though. But I remember the guy who brought us there. They're mostly school owners like me, and a lot of guys who had no idea how to grapple, had no idea what to do if someone took your legs out from under you. If you found yourself on the ground, most of this group would be lost in seconds. And I remember he said to BJ Penn's group, these guys are all, or BJ Penn I think said, these guys are all black belts. Meaning black belts in karate, taekwondo, tang sudo, ishinryu, shotokan. None of us were black belts in jiu-jitsu, and they were all impressed. Ooh, you guys must be tough. And I thought, man, it's a state of the industry, right? There's too much of a division between striking martial arts and grappling. If you know how to strike really well, but you don't know what to do if you get knocked to the ground, you're lost. It's silly. You could get away with that 30, 40 years ago. But today, you better know what to do if someone tries to take you down, know what to do on the ground and know how to get back up. And that's something that I'm always working on. And without recreating the whole thing, I don't want to get the cauliflower ear. I wrestled in high school. I started in judo. I studied jiu-jitsu here and there. But so I'm more confident with myself, but I want to find a way to teach all the students what to do, how to sprawl, how to stop somebody, how to get somebody off of you, especially the young ladies and the women. Someone's on top of you, how do you roll them? How do you get back up to your feet and stomp their head in the ground for self-defense? Anyway, that's our warm-up. Let's get into the first basic stance, which is that horse riding stance. Let me adjust the camera, keep walking back, hoping you'll see my feet, because I do want you to see my feet. One day we'll have a camera person, maybe in the new space. I haven't found a new space yet, but I'm still working on it. Start with your feet just under your body, hands in front, pull your elbows back. Step to the side, bend, roll your hips back like you're sitting onto a horse, push, breathe and breathe out. Bring them in, step in, put them away, go to the other side. We got this guy out of the way. Other side, we're just gonna do this one first. Nice and easy. Side to side, starting to build power in the legs for that knockout punch or kick. Endurance for the fight. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe. And then number 2, your hands will come straight up. Step back. Knees, fists, elbows. Return. Bring them up. Step back on the other side. Bring them up. Step back. Up. Step back. In the third one, pull, step, push. And push out. Return. Step at the other one. Notice that when I push, both hands are straight, but then when I open, I'm opening by turning the shoulder back. So I open the shoulder, create lots of distance for that palm strike. I'm going to use that to knock them off of you later when we get into self-defense. And then number 4, step back and the hands come to the front. If this is the front, it looks like this. Your hands are just going to open and then kind of make that yin yang or yang motion, right? Which is, it has a practical, it's not just to make it look fancy. Someone grabs your wrist, there are 2 simple ways to make them let go. One is to push this way. And I apologize, I don't have another person here to do it, but you can see how that changes the grip. The other way is to come in. So you either circle out or circle in. That's the basic premise of jiu-jitsu, small circles. Small circles have big results. So on number 4, you're circling back, stepping back. This is my right, so it's gonna go to the left side. When I step back with the left, I'm gonna go to the right, so I'm doing the opposite. Again, from the front, it looks like this. Notice I'm using my shoulders and hips That's where all your power comes from. And number 5, you're gonna pull to the side, step and push, step and push. This is someone grabs you here, you're pushing straight in to his face. It's very effective for self-defense, pulling and pushing. Hands start almost like you're holding 2 balls, one on top of the other one. I'm gonna come to the opposite side. This is gonna be my left side or right side. I'm gonna step with the left. So I pull here, step and push, and my feet are just making a very small step. On number 4, I'm gonna put all my weight on the back leg and just touch the ball of the foot. So it's literally 80, 90% of the weight here, 20 or 10% here. And then on number 5, as I step in, the opposite is now true. All my weight's off the back. I just put the ball of the foot there for balance, but I'm building strength and power in that front knee. So number 5, I'm step in and step in. Miss Nova says she has a yellow belt. This is a great place to start. If you have the yellow belt, if you have any level, even if you're a black belt, like I know a lot of you are black belts, you've been in martial arts for your whole life like I have, and if you have, you'll agree, I know, that it's always about the basics, right? It's always the basics, having a foundation of the basics, doing the basics well, better than anybody else, give you that foundation to do anything. It's like learning how to play the scales, learning the notes when you start playing piano. The more you can learn and master the basics, there's nothing you can't do. Everything builds off of that. The problem is everybody wants to skip forward and they want to skip the boring, what they call the boring stuff. I haven't never found it boring, but I know a lot of people, like when I had a huge staff of instructors and I did my instructor training weekly, the biggest problem that I would have is beating it into those guys' heads and girls. You have to teach the basics. And they would say, but they're boring, the students are bored. And I said, no, you're boring, you're bored, and you're transferring it to the students. For them, it's brand new. You've just done it a million times. And here's the secret of life. If you're bored, you are boring. You're doing it in a boring way. If you don't want to be bored, stop being boring. That means if you do number 1 like this, and I know you're not because it's new for you. You have the beginner's mind. But a lot of times the people get to a high level, they've done it a million times, they start to get all sloppy, they let their mind relax, and then they get bored, and then they're surprised, and they blame it on something else. Stop blaming everything else. Do this, right? This is the only thing that you have control over, right? You only have control over yourself. So always take 100% responsibility. If you're bored, you're boring, turn up the focus, turn up the intensity, go lower in your stance, push harder, squeeze your muscles harder, push your feet into the floor, stronger every time. Get your heart rate up, break a sweat, and there's never a way you'll ever be bored. That way you can do the basics over and over, better and better and better. Raise yourself to the level of mastery. Mastery it's mastery of the basics. Always mastery of the basics, right? And then you might know more stuff and be able to do certain things, but it's only when you have that foundation, mastery of the basics. All right, I want you to step back with one foot behind the other. If this is the front, I just come straight back, and I'm gonna bring both hands down. This is a balanced drill that also is gonna make you have better kicks, more powerful kicks for self-defense. You're gonna be able to kick through someone's stomach, reach through, hit that spine into the next dimension, kick their alternate self, right, for self-defense. The way to do that is to step back, bring the hands up. As you lift the knee, your knee comes straight up, and the kick is going to go forward, not up to the sky. So you're going to kick and bring it straight back. My hands come up, I kick, and I bring it back. Kick. This is a self-control drill. This gives you muscle control, back. This is going to give you a better front snap kick. And this is really the beginning of a lot of the striking martial arts, is this front snap kick. You're going to do 5, and then switch, and 5. And what's going to start to happen is this kicking is going to warm your legs up. It's going to warm your arms and your chest up, your fist. Every time you're hammering down, you're doing an isometric exercise, resistance, bringing it fast into a stop. So you're building power and strength in the muscles all throughout the upper body, balancing the low body, and practicing extending all the way down when you're blocking down. Now the whole purpose of blocking, whether you block up or block down, is to stop an attack that's usually coming straight into your face or into your stomach. if you cut yourself in half, you made a circle, cut the circle in half, everything that comes from your sternum up is going to be this high block. Everything that comes from here down is going to be the low block, right? You're going to knock their hand up, or you're going to knock their hand down. If you knock it up, you're going to punch them and break the ribs. If you knock them down, you're going to punch them right in the face for self-defense. So this is going to allow you to start practicing these hard low blocks. And notice that when I do a kick, I bring my right hand behind my left. I do a kick and I switch. Now my left hand behind my right. And I'm just alternating so I can practice this hard smashing motion. This is also going to be a hammer fist. Let's say someone comes up and they grab you from behind. You look over your shoulder, make sure it's not somebody who's supposed to touch you, and you just smash. Simple, effective, take that fist and smash them right in the groin with it. Smash, grab, snatch. That's old Marine coming out of me, right? But it's a real simple motion. Smash here. Someone comes running up on the side, you turn, smash their face, smash their body for self-defense. And you're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger as you practice these kicks. So we go back, we're going to do down, and the reason your hands are always going to come up. They come up to protect your body. Think about from the ribs to the temple of your face, right? Or to your eyebrow, because you're going to tuck your chin when you fight for self-defense or for competition. So you hammer down, kick, down, kick, down. I think the last time we worked out together, someone mentioned don't chicken wing. That means don't let your hands come up here. They'll hit your ribs, come over, hit the top of your head. Make sure, keep your elbows down. And then the other leg, 2. Now, I have a blocking drill I want you to practice. You're going to start, your feet just under your body, step into your horse riding stance. And on your horse riding stance, I want you to sit. I'm going to see if I can tilt the camera a little bit because I want to talk about feet and foot placement on your proper horse riding stance. Horse riding stance, not just horse stance. If you hear horse stance, they mean horse riding stance. You're riding on a horse. And I don't know if you've ever been on a real horse, but you got to sit on it, right? Unless you know what you're doing, you're a trick rider or something. But you sit on the horse, you don't fall off the horse. That's the first thing. The more you can sit, the better. The second thing is, don't sit like this, you'll fall backward. Roll your bum back. Sit your bones, your sits bones on the horse. So roll them back, and then make sure your knees aren't coming in. Open your knees, it's a fat horse. Roll your hips back, sit on your horse, and then dig your feet into the ground. Make sure your feet aren't out like a duck. If you do that on a horse, your feet are sticking out this way. Your heels are into a side. You go like this. You look like one of those little kids riding a pony. Kick your heels out. Bend the knees. Roll your hips back. Now from here, from this position, I want you to push your weight into the floor, almost like you're trying to separate your feet. And you're going to cross your hands. Make 2 good fists. Fists. Roll those fingers and make a square fist and push the thumb over the first 2 fingers and bring it down this way, that way, not that way. This way will change the shape of your fist and you'll roll your fist every time you hit something. Roll your fingers down, thumb comes over and straight down. That keeps it nice and square. You're gonna hit with the first 2 knuckles, the 2 big knuckles here. These two bones come in at a curve. They're very small. They break very easily. A lot of boxers break these knuckles all the time, or these 2 bones in their hands all the time. You're going to hit in martial arts with just those 2 knuckles, and see how the color is changing on the skin. It's because I'm squeezing it. I want you to squeeze your hands tightly. Squeeze those hands really tightly and make them really strong. So Nana asked, what are we teaching? We're working on traditional basic martial arts, striking martial arts, karate, taekwondo, tang soo do, just the basics. Chamber your elbows back, step, sit, cross your hand down, Get out of that one with that background. This is my left hand. I'm going to cross it down, and I'm going to pull it. It's going to roll up, so it's turning this way. I'm going to bring the camera back up since I showed you the feet. But the hand is going to come up and over a little bit. Imagine the strike is coming here. You're going to turn your shoulders and hips into that upper block. Then you're going to the other one. 1, 2, 1, 2. Notice that this is here. Look how far away from my head that is. This is very common when you first start. The reason most people block here is they look down. And the science behind it says you'll never lift your hand higher than you can see. So this is about the limit of what I can see when I'm looking in the wrong spot. Look straight ahead. Don't look down. People look down because they're insecure. Fight it. You might feel that way. This is what they mean by fake it till you make it. That's the wrong term. It's not really faking it. But act confident and you'll become confident. Get your hands up. You want this fist up and pushing out away from you to stop that punch that's coming to your face. You're going to knock it up, boom, and then you're going to punch him in the gut. So we're going to practice. Hips roll back, up, punch, and then we're going to bring this one through almost like you're shielding your body. Shields up, right? They're coming in with that fist, bam, a wall, shield wall. The Vikings, I think, came up with that concept, walling, shield, or the Romans, or the Maasai, but you're going to smash across, punch, smash across, punch. So number 1, up, punch, across, punch. Then pull it the opposite way and use this part to block. The last one, you're smashing, knocking out of the way. This one, pulling this way. And again, it's all shoulders and hips. Punch. And then from your shoulder, down, punch, high block, punch the face, high block, punch the face. Notice that I'm turning shoulders and hips, which is what keeps it in the center line. When I'm teaching you in person, sometimes I see you punch like this. And if you're fighting a guy who's right here, you just punch next to his head. Punch him through his face. You've got to turn your shoulders and hips. Sit on your horse. High block, punch the face. High block, punch the face. Wrist block, punch the face. Wrist block, punch the face. Middle block, face. Middle block, face. Low block, face. Low block, face. And you can do that over and over again, and you're going to feel, you're going to break that sweat. I'm going to sweat really well, right? You're going to sweat really well. You're going to break a sweat. Your muscles are going to start working. You're going to get stronger, faster. And even though you're not hitting anything, you're not punching a bag, this is going to build a lot of strength and power. You're going to be practicing these basic fist closed blocking techniques. Those are some of the basics. And then if you want to mix it up a little bit, do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just do the blocks together without the punches. And if you want to continue to mix it up, instead of high block, high punch, do low punch. Or do 2 punches up, 2 punches middle, 2 punches down, and then go through your blocks. And I'm sure I switched right hand, left hand, right hand. Doesn't really matter as long as you're working hard, as long as you're pushing yourself, as long as you're getting stronger and better. And just a little bit. People underestimate what they can do over a long period of time. And they overestimate what they can do in a short period of time. So they start to cram. They wait to the last minute and they think they're going to get there. They're not. But, yeah, Sinjaman says go half speed. Go half speed. That's the smartest way to do it. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And then your breath. And then your breath and your key up. Short, fast, explosive. Get it all to squeeze, and then you get more power. All right, my students are here. I got to go open the door. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you.